Marco Antonio Rubio, aka, is an American politician, attorney, and a diplomat serving as the 72 United States Secretary of State since 2025. Born on 28th of May 1971, age 53 years old, Miami, Florida, United States. Spouse Janet Deuce Debbie's Rubio, married in 1998. So Rubio is the Secretary of the United States of America as of 2025, and this is what Rubio has to go through to defend Afrikaners. Um him and the Judge Marco. I'm sure, I don't know who's Judge Marco, but you're gonna find out right now. Judge Marco. Watch this.
Do you think Afrikaner farmers are the most persecuted group in the world?
I think those 49 people that came certainly felt they were persecuted, and they've passed every sort of check mark that had to be checked off in terms of meeting the requirements for that. They live in a country where farms are taken and land is taken on a racial basis.
Okay. Do you think they're more persecuted than Uyghurs or Rohingyas, or more persecuted than political dissidents in Cuba or Venezuela or Nicaragua, or more persecuted than those who would be threatened should they be returned to Afghanistan by violence by the Taliban?
Well, the problem we face there is the volume problem, okay? If you look at all the persecuted people of the world, it's millions of people. They can't all come here. And we had refugee programs.
So why prioritize Afrikaner farmers?
Well, because it's a small subset. It's a new issue, and the president identified it as a problem and wanted to use it as an example. But that's different from having these refugee programs that were basically spending money to put people up in communities and accommodate them, and it was acting as a magnet. Millions of people in this country illegally, and today the border is sealed.
Let me challenge you, and I'm just going to say for the public, if you want to understand about the, quote, persecution of Afrikaner farmers, go look at the composition of the South African government. Since July of 2024, there's a government of national unity, and the opposition party to the ANC, the Afrikaner Party, the Democracy Alliance, is part of the governing coalition. They joined the governing coalition a year ago, and the leader of that party was given the remit of Agriculture Minister, John Steenhuisen. He is the leader of the former Afrikaner Party, still widely representing Afrikaners. He is the Minister of Agriculture in South Africa right now. I assert that this claim that there's persecution of Afrikaner farmers is completely specious. Are you aware ever during the apartheid era in South Africa, did the United States establish a special program to allow South African blacks who were treated as second-class citizens in the apartheid program, a special program that they could claim refugee status in the United States?
No, because I was probably in 9th grade or 8th grade at the time.
Well, then I don't expect you to know.
That's, who's that judge? Judge Merkley. That's Judge Merkley. He's teaching Rubio. I mean, like, a lot of people are just in America. They don't know what's going on in South Africa, what's going on in Africa, blah, 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 talking nonsense because they fed you some wrong information and stuff like that. You don't even know, like, during apartheid, the United States refused to take black South African and give them refuge in America just because they are black. And now, like, Stephen Holson, something like that, I can't even pronounce that name. The president of the DA part, he's the minister again of the agriculture and stuff like that. I'm not really into DA parts because I don't like the way they do things. They only do things in the favor of, like, of white people in South Africa. They rule the Western Cape. Like, when you come to the Western Cape in Cape Town here in South Africa, everything is now expensive for the local citizen because they have this strategic mindset. They once said that they wanted to make Cape Town. As you guys watching this, you can Google on your phone, the best city in the world right now, 2025, is Cape Town. And for them, they wanted to take it out of Africa, like from African people, indigenous people, and trying to turn it into, they say, Jerusalem of Africa. So also their kids actually they're Ashkenazi Jews. If you don't know who are Ashkenazi Jews, those Jews of European descendants, probably we call Scandinavians, people like Benjamin Netanyahu, people like Ben Gvir. They call themselves Jews, but they're not really Jew. They're Ashkenazi because in Israel you are not allowed to do a DNA test because once they're Spanish, um, there is a lot of Northern Africans, a lot of Polish, a lot of Russians and Ukrainian, a lot of Armenians. They call themselves Jews, but it's not the case. And they send a lot of people there to go fight uh, against bombarding Palestinians innocent and stuff like that. That's what they do here. And surprisingly, many people here, like many white people, especially the oldest one, when Israel started to bombing Palestine, they were very happy. Like you can tell, just like Zionism, it's been all over, and there are a lot of Zionists in South Africa. So that's the reason why I don't support them. They put everything is expensive in Cape Town, and people don't. The local, like the black and the brown people of South Africa, they don't want to afford anymore because Europeans and Americans they will come and afford, but here people won't afford anymore. So many people don't know what's going on in South Africa, but just keep on talking. There've never been a persecution of any race in South Africa. It's never happened. I don't know anyone that has been persecuted, but I know people that have been killed. And even now, people are being killed because South Africa is a high rated crime country. It doesn't choose what color you are, whatever you're coming from. You're going to die if you do some stupid things and stuff like that. This is South Africa. Yes.
Oh, I'll just tell you, never has there been a special program for Africans to come in as refugees to the United States. We've allowed special programs for people being persecuted for their religion, Soviet-era Jews. We've allowed special programs for people fleeing from communism, Cuba, Vietnam, the Soviet Union. We've never allowed a special program to allow Africans into the United States in an expedited refugee status until now. Afrikaner farmers living in a nation governed by a government of national unity that includes the main Afrikaner party. And actually, an even more right-wing Afrikaner party is also included in the coalition government. Now, would you agree with me, Mr. Secretary, that if we're interpreting the statutory phrase, a well-justified fear of persecution, we should try to do that in an even-handed way?
I think we should try to do that in the interest of the national security of the United States.
So okay, I agree with you too. We should. Should we try to do it in an even?
I think Rubio is just trying to be stubborn, but he has no clue of what he came to defend here. I mean, like this. Guys, let me know in the comment what do you say about this? Like, because Rubio is failing, is clearly a secretary, general secretary of Mr. Trump is failing to defend his own opinions. Like he's like a kid because they're just acting by force, not by fact, narrative, or not by reality. You know, they just wanted to impose what they think is right. Clearly, it's false and wrong. Like, let me know in the comment what do you say about this?
Handed way. So, for example, should we say if you're persecuted on the grounds of your religion, we'll let you in if you're a Christian, but not if you're a Muslim?
I think that the United States has a right to allow into this country and prioritize allowance of who they want to allow to come in.
But I think but I'm going to ask you what.
Yeah.
So a well-justified fear of persecution.
Yeah, they thought that their
means,
farms were being burned down and they would be killed. I think that's a pretty good justification for wanting to come. They're afraid for their lives.
And should it be applied in an even-handed way? That's an easy.
No, our foreign policy doesn't require even-handedness. It requires prioritizing the interests of the United States.
The phrase says you are entitled to entrance as a refugee if you demonstrate a well-justified fear of persecution.
No,
I
you're
mean,
not entitled.
so
You're
can you have
allowed.
a different standard based upon the color of somebody's skin? Would that be acceptable?
Well, I'm not the one arguing that. Apparently you are, because you don't
No,
like the fact
and
that they're
I'm
white,
just
and that's why
asking
they're
you to
coming.
say that that would be unacceptable.
No,
That
I would say that
seem
the
to be
United
a
States,
very easy
the
thing
United
to
States
say,
has a right to pick and choose who they allow into the United
even
States.
based on the color of somebody's skin.
No one's. You're the one that's talking about the color of their skin, not me. These
You're
are people whose
refusing to
farms were being
acknowledge
burned
that
down
it's
and they were killed because of the
even-handed.
color of their skin.
Well,
Well, you've demonstrated enough because you think anyone should be allowed.
I mean, Rubio, they just gave you a statement. United States never wanted to make a special program for Black Africans. And you keep on talking, you're the one who bring the color. Yeah, we have to bring the color of the skin because they've never been allowed. They've never been a single program specialized just for them, just to do for Afrikaners that they've been living in their country like for centuries and centuries. They are good. Nobody's persecuting them by the false narrative, and you bringing it up in the court, and you failing to defend your statements. Damn God, like I don't understand, guys. Why do Americans like to talk too much, but there is no evidence? Why? God damn it.
Out into this country for any reason because they met a
Who-
certain
who has
criteria.
said that?
We are going to prioritize people that come into our country on the basis of what's in the interest of this country. That's a small number of people that are coming.
but
in
you
that
said
particular
you said
case.
this weekend that
But
there
in
would
other
be more.
cases, it's harder to vet. In other cases, it's more difficult. And by the way, the United States admits people every year. 1 million people come to this country every year legally. 1 million.
And
people
now
a year come to this
There
country
is one
legally.
group
No
of
other
people
country
that
in the
have
world
an
is nearly as
easy
generous.
pass into this country. For the first time, this administration has said Afrikaners get an easy pass and refugee programs for the remainder of the world are shut off. And you can't say to the American public that we should apply this statute in an even-handed way.
No, I
I'm
think it should
shocked
be
at that,
applied in a
and I
way. No,
yield
well, you
back.
shouldn't be shocked. It should be applied in the national interest of the United States. Our immigration policy should be based on the national interest of the United States. Period. End of story. If there is a subset of people that are easier to vet, who we have a better understanding of who they are and what they're going to do when they come here, they're going to receive preference, no doubt about it. There are a lot of sad stories around the world, millions and millions of people around the world. It's heartbreaking. We cannot assume millions and millions of people around the world. No country can. So you have to have a process of deciding who do you prioritize, who do you allow in. We do it all the time. We do it in our immigration system now under our current laws. Unfortunately, it's primarily based on family connection and not on what they're going to contribute to the society from a merit standpoint. That should be changed, but that'll require statutory changes. But the bottom line is this notion that somehow we have to accept anyone who wants to come to the United States is absurd. No country in the world has an immigration policy like that. Why would
And no one is arguing that we should. I yield back, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much.
Wow. That was a hell of debate. A hell of debate. Rubio is failing to protect, to defend his statement. And look at the comments. Mr. Merkley speaking nothing but facts. No, white people are fine in South Africa. Crime doesn't discriminate here. Which South Africa is he talking about? 7 farmer attacked and 2 farmer murdered in South Africa in the last week. Mr. Merkley should be reminded that black people in South Africa are not brutally murdered in their homes. Mr. Merkley did his research. The interviewer did his homework. Farm being burned down. Which South Africa is this? South Africa is not perfect. Crime does not discriminate in South Africa. Why is Elon Musk that still in South Africa if they were burning down people in South Africa? Guys, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. Let me know in the comment below. Damn, they destroy Rubio so much. Like, General Secretary of Trump can't defend himself in court because the narrative is false, the opinion is wrong, and all that nonsense about South Africa, what they don't know. Guys, if you're new here, please hit the button, subscribe, activate the bell notification so you cannot miss one of my video every single time I upload. And please like the video, share your comment with me, let's have a chat, and I'll respond to you every time. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Cheerio.